All right, here we go. On the go. Well, this time I'm parked and I got a few minutes. I got a good chunk of time on my hand. Well, not a good chunk, maybe like half an hour. About a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes at most. And I just wanted to get on here and do a live and talk about some upcoming action in 2023. No fights planned, of course, for these fighters, but we're gonna talk about them again. What's up, Lolita? She said you read my mind. She said this is a hot topic. Yeah. She said, where is Suarez and all this mess? Why is Santos fighting Blanchfield? It should be Santos versus Shevchenko. Right. Yo, Kareem Spirits Word. What's going on, bro? You missed the show last night. We did a good show last night. You know, had a good year in review and good call in show. It was over like 4 hours. So yeah. Marcus Bell, what's up? But yeah, I just want to talk about these three fighters, and I want to talk about going down that path, continuing the path of trying to accomplish something big. This is a growing sport. WMMA is still growing, but there's still a lot that can be done as far as leaving your mark, especially this early on. We got these fighters out here who really really want it, and I know some people are still questioning a little bit, and sometimes people they twist up people's words any kind of way. Like even stuff I do, some people still misinterpret it, and you try to make it as clear as possible. You try to just go A, B, C, and people still don't understand. And yeah, that's why I want to jump on and talk a little bit about where I stand with Manon and fighters like Grasso. And I talked about it last night a little bit too. Towards the end of the show, I did say that uh, I still give, of course, Manon a little bit more of a pass than Grasso because of the experience level. Like Grasso's been in the UFC for 6 years, so I'm trying to figure out why she wants to take longer than needed, much longer than needed when she's at the number 5 spot now. You know what I mean? So when you really start to dissect things, I can lay it out more and just say, hey, this is where I stand with this fighter because she's been here longer. Grasso's been in the UFC. She's been under pressure. She knows high level pressure. She knows defeat as well. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that here in a minute. But hang on, gotta fix something. Donovan, what's up? He says Suarez is probably better off working her way from the bottom at 125. Yeah, I agree. Kareem said I can't wait to see them fighting. Marcus said it should be Tyler and Valentina in a rematch. But the reality of the situation is that UFC doesn't offer immediate rematches to the challenger who hasn't defended the belt at least once, right? Yeah, they got their unwritten laws. You know how it goes. But to me, it's like this girl right here, Tyler Santos. She wants it, and she's the only one that's capable of taking the fight right now, right? So that makes sense. Efren, what's up? He said I predict they'll try to make up for lost time with Tatiana. Joanna just showed us she's still in the USADA testing pool. I can see them try to entice JJ into a short notice fight with Tatiana at 125. Man, that'd be crazy. Shout out to Sink. He sent me that yesterday because I was flipping by it, but I didn't really pay it no mind on her IG. But Sink, he sent me the picture of Joanna with the 6:30 a.m. Yosada test, right? And Julia Avila, she's back in the mix too. She was up with her baby, and she was doing the test as well. So yeah, that's wild that Joanna's still in that testing pool, man. So I mean, yeah, she's not really far removed from fighting. It's only been 6 months, and she technically she's still under contract because she still has fights on there, right? So yeah, Nabosh, what's up? He said Grasso's got to be next, right? All right, yeah, let's talk about it. I'm gonna just read a few more comments. He said, Lolita said Santos is the only one calling out Val, and they should have had that rematch already, right? Yeah, regardless of how you look at it, they should have just given her the rematch. Like this, the girl that's only capable of performing to a high level. Like Aaron, it's interesting. Is a fight I'm gonna watch because I still believe in what Aaron brings to the table. But you really are reaching when you pull her up this far. You know what I mean? Like the UFC is really reaching when they grab somebody like Aaron and pull her up 8 spaces, right? They really are, and that's what makes it kind of wild for the hardcore fan, because we know it takes time. It takes time. You have to match these fighters up right if you want them to get to where we think they could where we think they could really be, or where we anticipate them to be, where we predict them to be. Nolita said, what happens if Aaron wins? If Aaron wins, she might call for the title. She might call for the title, but in my opinion, if she called for a couple of other fights, I wouldn't be mad. That's why I'm telling people now, like, if Aaron beats Tyler Santos by a close decision, don't get mad if she calls somebody else out, because she's just doing what the UFC is doing. She's just doing what the UFC wants her to do right now. They want her to fight this top contender and possibly get a title shot. But if she doesn't look good, they'll rethink things, and Aaron will rethink things and say, okay, well, I need another fight or two. Y'all made me jump up this high, so it's only right if I don't look good, or if I don't look like a contender for Valentina or a threat, then y'all got to give me the time I need, because y'all tried to rush me. You know what I mean? It's not like these other fighters, like I said, Grasso, 6 years in the UFC. She's on a 4-fight win streak. Manon is out because of her surgery, but she's on a 5-0 win streak, right? And she's number one contender. So they can always say, we're ready for a title shot. That's where they should be at. Their mindset should always be, okay, we are title shot ready, where Aaron is just getting kind of thrown up 8 spaces because of whatever the UFC has planned. You know what I mean? The boss said Grasso has fought Suarez, KK, Esparza, Barber, Wood, and Maya. That's more than exactly. That's what that's the boss. That's what we talked about last night, man. Like, I had to put it out there. You know what I mean? I had to put it out there. I was like, we were talking about that towards the end of the show, and I was like, hey, like, really, when you think about it, I go, Manon is number 1, but Grasso's number 5. Okay, but I can't really give Grasso that hard pass, like, or even try to give her pass. Like, Manon, I can a little bit, because she hasn't been in the UFC as long. You know what I mean? She's won a lot of fights in 2 years, but Grasso's been here 6 years. Grasso's been here 6 years, and she's already faced defeat like Tatiana. She knows what to work on. Macy Barber, JoJo, Carla, all of those fighters, right? She's been here 6 years, so it's time to, hey, go ahead and get it. You see, Carla had to wait 8 years before she could get her hands on the belt again. Kareem said, I can't give Manon a pass. I can kind of give her a pass in this situation now because of surgery. That's what I'm saying. Like, but when you are number 1, yeah, like, if there was no surgery, yeah, I would say go ahead and get it. But if anybody out of the 2 wanted more experience, I would have to say her, because she hasn't been here as long. Like, if you want one more fight, okay, I don't know what it's going to do for you, but go ahead and get it. But I'm just saying, like, Grasso's been here longer. Colton said they matched up Aaron versus Molly when Molly was getting a lot of hype. Now that transferred to Aaron, and they're feeding her to the wolves too. Yeah, that's kind of that's not a good look on the UFC there. Like, she beat a girl that didn't have any ground game. Again, I like the way the Kimura turned out. I like the technique she used, but let's be real, Molly McCann did not have a ground game, so we can't say that's enough of a challenge to push her. They did some crazy stuff with Aaron. Like, first she fights down, she beats the person she fights down, and now they give her a number 8. I mean, they give her somebody 8 spaces up. Like, it's like they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do with that. All right, so yeah, talking about these fighters here real quick. Yeah, the situation with Manon, like I said, okay, with what's going on with her now, I understand. Okay, she starts back training in March or April. Okay, she starts back full training March or April. Okay, and they're kind of throwing names out there for her. They're throwing names out there for her, for whenever she makes her come back in the summer, July or August. Okay. So, yeah, you got to take the time. That's what I was telling High Five yesterday. Nobody's rushing her. Nobody's rushing her. She definitely needs to take the time to heal up. She's still doing the therapy. She's doing the therapy workouts on the bike, to get the ligament strong. And in a few more months, she'll start training again. All right. And when she comes back, she said that she would take on anybody. But the name that really stood out to people, like I said, was the Rose name. Whether or not it's lost in translation or whatever, how it was worded, that was the name that was brought up. And like I said, in these interviews, sometimes you have to be careful what you say or how you answer, especially if like the fighter really doesn't make any sense. Like, of course, the fighter's always going to say yes, but whenever certain names are brought up, even if a coach brings it up on the side or the interviewer brings it up, they have to kind of think twice about bringing certain names up because those names don't really amount to anything. Like, Whaley taking on Valentina doesn't really amount to anything. Rose taking on Manon doesn't really amount to anything. So, why mention those names? You have to mention the names that are on that contender's path. So that's why I was just saying in my video of the day is like, it's more on the people around them's fault sometimes whenever they don't try to help educate these fighters on what to say sometimes, because the fighters, yeah, they're going to do what they do. They fight whoever they put in front of them. But, you have to kind of help these fighters on how to build a brand and how to build a following by still trying to say the right things in these interviews. I mean, you can still keep it real. I'm going to keep it real, but there's certain words you have to say if you want to build up a fan base. Because the minute you put the wrong fighter, the wrong names out there, fans that are really passionate, they look a certain way. They're going to say, oh man, I don't want to see this person fight. Why are they calling out this person? Why are they calling out a mismatch? I don't like that. They're going to be like, they need to be calling out one name and one name only. You know what I mean? But for her Manon situation, it's like, okay, coming back in August, we understand. We understand, okay, off of the injury, you're not going to fight Valentina right off top. So the next best names would be, like the Lauren Murphys and Andrades, right? People will definitely get behind that if that's the fight that you need. They'll definitely get behind that. But when somebody like Rose, okay, she's a 2-time champion in strawweight, that name is thrown out. It doesn't really appeal to the hardcore fans or even the casual fans, because they know these are two different weight classes and these two girls are two different sizes. I mean, Rose could come up, carry the weight nicely, but that's something we don't know. Like, that's not proven. Like, we know Andrade carries the weight. Lauren Murphy, she carries the weight. So those were the type of names that she would need. You know what I mean? So to me, that's where I stand with that. It's just like, just certain things that have been said. Just like when it comes to a Whaley interview, I don't, like I said, I don't call these fighters cowards or anything like that. I think it's all about direction. It's all about behind the scenes things. And you just have to have the right people behind you that are pushing you in the right direction and on what to say sometimes. Because you got to understand, like, I've talked to some fighters before, even like back in the day, like even some boxers, like you got to understand, like, they really do focus on fighting. Like, some of them are not the most, not disrespecting. They're not the most educated. You know what I mean? Like, on certain things, sometimes fighters don't think logically. If you've seen some of the choices they made in the past, there's a lot of boxers and there's a lot of fighters in general, MMA, that don't really think, they don't really, I hate to say it, they don't have that mental capacity not to, think out of the box. But sometimes when that's all they know from whenever they were a kid, they need that help to say, okay, this is what you need to do and this is what you need to say. They don't think about it all the time. Kareem said Manon would kill Rose. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it could go that way, and if it did go that way, it really wouldn't do much for her reputation. It really wouldn't. It really wouldn't do much for her resume. I think much like Tyler, if she took on Valentina Shevchenko and lost, that would do more for her resume. Like, if that did happen, I think that would do more for her resume. If she took on Valentina and lost, that would kind of give her more stock and more experience that she needed for the division that she's in, because she's facing somebody that is a long-time champion and with a lot of experience. And if you come up short against Valentina, you can get more. Yeah, yeah. Let's see how she does at grappling. Lolita. I want to see how Rose does against Jillian Robertson. That's going to be interesting. That'll be interesting. Jackson said it makes sense for Fiorot because Rose is a massive name that Fiorot would send into orbit if they ever fought. Um, it would make. You see, that's why I don't see it making sense like that. It might be like money wise or something like that. I don't even think it would be that money wise, but her destroying her really wouldn't do much for us, would it? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't I don't know. She could do that, right? She could send her in orbit, destroy her, but it wouldn't really do much for us. Most of the girls in the division need experience and wins. Other than Tyler Manon, I just don't see who can win. Right? Yeah. The boss said, I think Rose would be a really tough fight for Manon on the feet. Manon would have to mix in the wrestling intelligently, and even then, it could still get difficult on the ground. Yeah, I think all around at 115, Rose does have some of the best skill sets. I think that she has the perfect frame for 115. I don't know how it would carry up at 125, but I think Rose's length and her movement is so tricky. But even her IQ, like when it comes down to the boxing stand up, that would be tricky for Manon. Like if it stayed on the feet, it would be a little bit more trickier than Caitlin Chikagan. I think Manon's best chance would be to make it more of a powerful physical fight. Being more powerful and more physical against Rose is how you get to her, chopping her down and, closing the distance on her. But trying to fight a chess match, that's going to be hard because let's be real, Rose's footwork in boxing, pure boxing, is much more impressive, I believe. I think it is much more impressive here because you've seen how she's been able to take it to girls from the outside off a jab and off a right hand, So I think those would be the keys to victory for Rose, and she'd have to do that for 3 or 4, 5 rounds, of however long the fight they make, if they were to make it. Claus said Manon and Grasso's title shots are starting to look like a little slow sinking ship. Manon will soon be 33, and timing is everything in this sport. Right. Jackson said Rose is a slightly better fighter, but Manon will just be too big and too strong. Yeah, those are the keys to victory in that. Like, if you've got size and physicality and you know how to use it, that's how you would have to beat her, I believe. That's how you'd have to do it. Mark said, I don't think Jillian's grappling is as good as everyone thinks. Dang. He said shots fired right there. He said he don't think Jillian's grappling is as good as we think. Kareem said, I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm just saying I check out these girls when they fight and a lot. And there are a lot of girls that are going to freeze up when they get in. Oh, are there a lot of girls that are going to freeze up when they get in there with Val? Can they get Val to make mistakes? Okay, first question is, are there a lot of girls that are going to freeze up when they get in there with Val? Well, first off, Cream, let me think. I'm looking at her title defenses. Like, who really froze up? Jennifer Maya didn't freeze up. She just couldn't she just couldn't capitalize. Lauren Murphy froze up. So there's still a high possibility of a lot of girls freezing up in there, I think. Like, if too many of the fighters believe that they need more experience and they get pushed into a fight, if they get pushed into a fight, Kareem, they will freeze up because they don't think they're ready. But my thing is, you can't gain that much experience at this time now. When you sign to the UFC, you can get experience, but you can't get the experience that Valentina has. So these fighters, they need to just study Valentina and see what she does. Like, you don't need to be perfect in everything. You don't at this point. You need to study what Valentina's doing, and you need to find her weaknesses. She has weaknesses. Let's be real. You know, even the hardest hardcore fanboys going to have to admit that Valentina has weaknesses. So it's up to these fighters to train in those disciplines and some of those techniques where they can really get to expose those weaknesses. You know what I mean? Like, and you got big fighters. You got big fighters now like Manon and Tyler. They've got one up on her now. They got the size. You know, they got the size. So those are the ones that need to really train hard in being rugged, dirty, dog. You know, they got to be that dog. They got to take Valentina off of her feet, off of her balance. Can't let her fight at a range. Got to keep her on the cage. You know, you got to have a gas tank. You know, those are the type of fighters that already got the one up on her. You know, but you can't go in these fights thinking that you need the same amount of experience that she has at this point. Because if you think like that, you freeze up. Like you said, Kareem, Lauren Murphy. She been in the game a while, but she still wasn't ready. And look, they gave it to her. She froze up. You know, she froze up. I could kind of see Grasso doing that a little bit. Maybe, you know, I could kind of see Grasso, honestly, just because she doesn't sound 100% like Tyler Santos. You know what I mean? Like how they walk it and how they talk it. You know, you got to be both. You got to walk it and talk it. You just can't talk it. And Grasso's not really talking it or walking it right now. I'm just being honest. Like, not sure. Not sure. So she might be one that would freeze up. Jessica, I didn't freeze up. You know, she just got knocked out. You know, she just got knocked out. So, but yeah, like I said, before I talk about this other big one here, Suarez. No, before I talk Suarez, Manon, it'll be smart. Yeah, come back July or August against one of these other top 5 fighters. You know, get in there, do what you got to do, and maybe that surgery thing was a sign for her. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise where, you know, she could take the time to think about what she really wants to do, and look at the fighters that are on the list here, and say, hey, who really is going to be more experienced? Am I really taking a risk here? Because Andrade is a risk. Lauren Murphy can be a risk. Both of these fighters can be a risk, but if you want that experience, again, you got to get it from one of these fighters. But remember that you could wind up losing, and you could wind up losing the title shot. So for me, if I was in the corner, we're managing this fighter, I'd say, look, we're here. We beat Caitlin Chikagian. We beat the number 1. We got to get it now. You know, we just got to get it now. You know, we're just gonna study Valentina. You know, like we should have been doing. We're gonna study her. We're gonna study her weaknesses, and we're gonna get this fight. We're going to take this opportunity, just like Tyler Santos did. That's the best thing you can do. You know, if Tyler had a few more tools about her, she probably could have won that night. So you just have to believe in yourself at that point. When you get to number 1, you can't really backtrack anymore. You just have to say, hey, this is it. You know, I beat Caitlin Chikagian. Let's go. You know, let's go. Like I said, this is me. Like, sometimes as a fan, I speak different than if I was actually managing or cornering the fighter. If I was cornering her and we beat Chikagian, I'd be like, hey, let's go. You know, we got to go ahead and get this thing, because your age, time is not on our side. And the more you wait, you know, the more it kind of makes Valentina's head get bigger, thinking that she is the best. But, you know, we got to kill that noise. We got to kill that noise. We got to call her out. You know, we got to put her on blast and say, we ready. And we got to prepare. That's the only fight that matters. I mean, yeah, we're not as experienced, but there's a lot of tape on how to beat her Valentina. You know what I mean? There's a lot of tape on we can watch. And that's what you just got to do. So hopefully, like she said, by the end of the year, this fight can happen. And if she fights somebody else, hopefully, you know, it goes her way. And that's the experience that she needs. I'm assuming they're going to make it a 5-round main event, because that's what she's asking for. Between her and Grasso, that's what they want. So, yeah, that'll be it. And they got to get the fight by the end of next year, which is crazy, man. That's going to be a year from now. So, yeah, around this time next year, we'll probably be watching that fight, hopefully, right? Manon versus, Shevchenko versus Fiorot, hopefully, right? But it's just about, at this point, it is about believing in yourself, man. Because when you do fight up to that point, you can't really say I need to do this and I need to do that now. Like all of that should have been done before you got here, before you got to that Shark Tank. You know what I mean? Same with Grasso. But with Grasso, real quick, I think it's going to be her, man. I think if Val comes back early, mm, March probably, February or March. Yeah, she comes back in March or something, March or April. I think it's gonna be Grasso. I think it will be Grasso. I think it will. Claude says send Grasso Murphy's interview. She gave Grasso a lot of kudos, and it might give her more confidence. Okay. Yeah, let me watch that interview. I haven't watched it yet. And that's what's crazy. Like, she actually believes in Lauren Murphy believes in Grasso more than Manon. I mean, what about y'all? Like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Maybe, maybe one might last longer than the other, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, who believes Grasso has a better chance than Manon? Raise your hand. I don't know. I don't know. It comes down to who really wants it though. Combined with the skills. See, Tyler, she wanted it and she showed it. She came in pretty humble too. She came in pretty humble, but she showed up that night and she gave Val some good moments in that fight. But I don't know. I don't know what Lauren Murphy talking about though. I mean, I like how she talking trash, but still, Colt said Manon has the size working for her. Yeah, she got the size, and she's got to use it. Grasso has grown into the weight. She's grown into the weight. Kareem said, I like Grasso's defense. Yeah, I like her defense for the most part. I wish she would move her head a little bit more because Viviana Arujo was tagging her a bit and about rocked her. I like how she has the peekaboo, but sometimes that peekaboo defense is kind of dangerous in MMA because her head is still on the line and she can still eat some punches. Okay, Nabas said, I think Grasso. He said, I think Manon has a better chance than Grasso against Shevchenko. Okay. Yeah, I kind of think so too, man. I'm not just saying that either. I'm just saying as far as size and attitude about the fight. Um, but yeah, let's look at Suarez here real quick. I got a few more minutes. Suarez is looking to come back. We all know she's trying to come back at 125, which is smart. And an opponent will be named in February. This has been posted up now. It's going around on IG. Tatiana Suarez trying to make the comeback. And I want to say this is the closest we've came before, but no, because last time they actually put a poster up. Last time they actually put a poster up of Manon versus Roxanne. Okay. This time she says she's coming back in February, but nothing's been put up yet. Okay. Nothing's been put up yet. But she seems to be training. She seems to be getting in shape. She seems to be on the treadmill. She's been hitting the speed bag. She's been, doing drills in the cage now. So I'm kind of curious as to was that just stay ready training, like old training she was putting up, or has she really been like getting in the real sparring and everything already? We on the low, and the fight's already been scheduled for her, but we just haven't fully announced it. Like maybe she doesn't want to jinx herself. I don't know, but yeah, I'm hoping this time this is it because we are so far out now. Kareem said, so how would Val fend against her? Against Manon or against Grasso? And the boss said, I think Grasso can hang with Shevchenko defensively, but I don't see any offensive weapons that are threatening. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's got the footwork to get away from Val, and she's got the range. But yeah, like as far as her offense, what kind of traps can Grasso set? Like what kind of traps can she set with Valentina not answering back? You know what I mean? And stinging her. Because, you know, she's going to be looking for all those openings too. Like, what can she do? Like, can she get the front kick up to the midsection on Valentina? You know, and Valentina starts to like kind of plant her feet, and you kind of see how she does that little, she starts like jittering like a little wind up toy. You know, she's doing her little feints. Like, does Grasso have enough IQ to set a little trap? So when she throw that left hand, boom, she come up under with a right uppercut or her own left hook. You know, I'm trying to play it out here. Decimated said, yeah, I hope so. Yeah, let Tatiana got a couple more months here. Yeah, man. Tatiana, man, she got a couple more months here, man. And, you know, we gotta pray for her. We gotta hope she can make it through this, man. You know, I hope nothing happens, man. Because last time out, they announced it. You know, it was Roxanne versus Tatiana. Then boom, it was over. You know, something happened. You know, the injury came back. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Now Tatiana coming back, no opponent named yet. Well, on our part, I think she has an opponent. She's just not letting it out the bag yet. You know, so in my opinion, I've said this before, I think Tatiana does have to start at the bottom. I think somebody said that in the chat a minute ago. Was that you, Kareem, or somebody? Somebody had said she needs to start from the bottom. And, you know, I agree. I've been saying that because the longer you stay out, I told BJ this too, matter of fact. I said the longer you stay out, and look, I'm a Tatiana fan, but the longer you stay out, you have to understand that these fighters, with each year that goes by, you start to lose them reflexes a little bit. You start to lose timing. You really do. You know, rust starts to build up. You do. You really do. And it's going on 4 years for Tatiana now. So Tatiana Suarez, to me, it'd be good if she fights a unranked fighter. You know, fighting an unranked fighter would be smart at this point because we don't know what she offers at 125, right? Now, if she moved up if she was active from 2019 on and she decided to move up in 2020, she said, hey, I want to move up, you could throw her in the mid rankings. Because, like she said before, when she used to train at 125, she felt great. You know, she could always make 115 and be strong, but 125 back in the day, she said she felt great. When she trained at 125, she felt strong. She could go on and on because the weight cut wasn't so harsh, right? So walking around 125, 128, she was good. You know, she could wrestle, she could move, she was strong. Like she said, this was like a year or so ago now when she talked about this, you know, she was good to go. So doing all of that at 125 before, she could have been right into the mix. She could have thrown right into the mix. But now with injuries, you got to test the injuries. So the best way to test injuries or how your body moves is just against limited opponents. You know, fighting some limited opponents on the unranked scene, not saying like a lot, but maybe one is a good way to test her. So I wouldn't be mad if she fought, you know, one of these up and comers. You know, I wouldn't want to see Natalia Silva. Yeah, I said that already. Yeah, that's a good fight. Yeah, Karine Silva. Yeah, I said that. Karine Silva is the name that always been coming up with me. People been disagreeing on that, but I said no. Karine Silva is a good name because that girl's got 100% finishing rate. She just got signed too, and she needs to be tested as well. You know, we can test and see how Suarez gets down and dirty, kind of test out her ground game, see how she moves. That's a good fight for her. Now Natalia Silva, that could be a style nightmare right there. Natalia Silva, she's kind of on another little level right now. Her momentum is going. You know, she looking sharp. She feeling herself on the feet. You know, that hand speed. It could be kind of tricky for somebody who hasn't been, you know, having their reflexes tested and their timing might be off. Like Natalia Silva, you know, the mood she's in right now, the way she moves and her timing, it's on point right now. It's on fight ready timing. You know, fight ready and training are two different things. You know, Natalia Silva, she's moving, she's jabbing, you know, she's throwing head kicks. She's quick with it right now. So the Silva that she needs to fight is Karine Silva to me. just to see how she hangs on the inside. Somebody that's not really that quick, doesn't really pose too much of a speed threat, but can kind of get her back in the mix. So yeah, that'd be perfect for her. Lafayette, what's up? He said, I want to see Kareem fight somebody. Yeah, Tatiana would be the name to me. Tatiana and Kareem, that's a good matchup. I wouldn't do Juju because Juju's still green as far as record 3-1 or 4-1 or something like that. I think Juju and Teresa Blader, that would probably be a good fight, for them two. But Suarez, she definitely needs that pick me up again. She needs that confidence builder to make people see, okay, this is what we were missing. This is where she been. Make some people miss her. Say, hey, I'm ready to see her get back in. But I just hope nothing goes wrong in between now and February, because this gonna be her last, could be her last chance too. Because took 4 years off. Not getting any younger. Sometimes the body, it'll talk to you. It'll talk to you in these situations. But I just hope hers is speaking the right language right now. Tatiana better be 100% if she fights Natalia Silva. They better not make that fight. It better not be that Silva, man, because I don't think that's going to be the one to win. Lafayette said, I heard someone say on their channel that it might be spring. Oh, really? What might be spring? When Tatiana comes back? Because Tatiana just posted up, or Juju, because Tatiana just posted up, well, WMMA Rankings posted up, that she's coming back in February. Silva would box up Tatiana. Very dangerous fight right now. Don't need to happen. Natalia better maybe, or even that gal named Jazz. Oh yeah, Jazzy Vicious. Yeah, that's well, Jazzy Vicious is fighting Courtney Casey next, so they got them lined up. Six, what's going on? He said, or is Suarez just fighting for that check? I hope not. I hope she's fighting for that energy again, like getting the strap, because I always wanted to see her fight for the belt, man. And 115 was where she was made to me, but I'm I want to see her at least give her one more chance. Stamina, what's up, man? He out in Oakland. Making a round trip. He making some trips around the world. Lafayette. No, Grasso versus Valentina. Okay. Yeah. Grasso versus Valentina. It might be spring. I believe it might be spring. Yeah, March, April, like that. Because February is right around the corner, but March and April. So good luck to her, man. Like, good luck to her for sure, man. Because hey, she's number 5. She number 5. She can go in there and get some work, man. It's time. I don't know if you were in here earlier, but yeah, Lafayette. Like I said, Grasso been in the game. She been in the UFC for 6 years now. Manon Fiorot, 2 years. She skyrocketed by her. But if anybody out of the two, both of them need to fight. Believe me, both of them I want to see fight Valentina. But somebody like Grasso, who's been in the UFC for 6 years, you would think that I've been here 6 years and I'm ready to go for this belt. I've done everything I needed to do. I'm going for this belt. It's like, what am I doing this for? I'm going for this belt. That's it. I've been here this long. And that's why I got to give Carla a lot of respect, because Carla, she gained that belt in 2014. She lost, had the hard road back up, but the belt was on her mind. The belt was still on Carla's mind. 8 years passed. She gets the belt, right? Because when did she get the belt? May 2022, right? Lost it. She lost it, but still. That girl said, hey, 8 years of doing this, I want something to show. Nobody really likes Carla's style, but still, man, Carla had a mission. She was on that path. Carla was on that mission. She said, hey, I'm not just doing this for nothing. I'm not just doing this for a check, right? Six, like you said, I'm not just doing this for a check. Carla said, I'm doing this for the belt. I want to be a 2-time champion. 8 years later, about 8 years later, boom, she gets the belt again. You know, good for her. You know? So I'm just saying, when you were around this time, around the number 5 spot, 6 years later, for Grasso, you know, got some good wins at flyweight. Maybe not like the toughest, but you should be ready. You should be ready now. Lafayette said, I'd love to see Grasso win. Yeah. I mean, hey, if you can go in there and do something big and you show a lot of heart and you don't freeze up and you actually pick Valentina apart and do something big to win, and you do something that nobody else can do, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. The boss said, I love. Oh, that's Korean. He said, I love this channel. Oh, appreciate that, man. The boss said, I think Calvillo would be a good opponent for Suarez. Yeah. That's another one. If you want to get her back into the rankings, if you want to get her right back into the rankings, Calvillo is a good one. Calvillo, but Suarez Korean would be also interesting. Yeah. I think even though Korean's not ranked, I think she'd be a good fight. Well, what about Montana? What about Montana De La Rosa? Stamina said that belt don't even smell of Carl anymore. Hey, at least she got it right. At least she held it 2 times. She got that belt 2 times. You know, how many times has Grasso got it? I'm just saying, like, she was on a mission and she got it right. She held it. Marcus said, not Montana. How about why not Montana, man? Yeah, Tatiana eat Montana. Hey, come on now. She's unranked. Is that too easy of a touch? Tatiana and Calvillo had beef years ago. Yeah, I remember I wanted to see them fight at 115 before. I wanted to see her fight Calvillo, and I wanted to see her fight Andrade. Claus said, I'm broke, so I can't even pay attention. Yeah, I used to want to see Suarez Andrade and Suarez Calvillo. But Calvillo, she's had better days, man. Calvillo had better days. Love the girl, but she had better days, man. That would be, especially like if you got destroyed by somebody on a 4-year layoff, it'd be time to go. It'd be 4-year layoff versus a 4-fight losing streak. 4-year layoff versus Calvillo's 4-fight losing streak. And I would still believe Suarez would go in there and win. For real. You said, not Montana. I said Montana was going to get eaten. You said Montana going to get eaten alive by Suarez. 6 said, what's your take on the Tracy Cortez situation? I really don't want to speak on it because I don't know what's going on with it. Like, all right, this is what I saw, okay? I'm going to present what I seen to y'all, and y'all tell me because I don't want to put false news out there. Y'all know I really try to strive on that. Like, all right, that's why I didn't talk about it because WMMA rankings talked about Tracy Cortez, and shout out to WMMA rankings. They stay consistent. They be putting information out there now, but there was a title I guess they put out for an article of hers, and it said something about her mental state, depression that she was going through. Okay, but on Twitter, she responded and said, "This ain't true. This ain't the reason I pulled out of the fight." She said mental health was not why I pulled out of the fight. She said they were just putting up clickbait. And now it's like a whole Twitter war on her followers. Some are saying, "Oh, you did say it was mental health." Some people are saying, "Oh, yeah, they're lying. They're clickbaiting." So I don't know where to go with that one. I haven't really. I gotta watch it again and see like the context of it. Like I just looked at a clip, but I wasn't paying attention because I was doing some other stuff. But then I saw she retweeted it and said, "Oh, this ain't true," you know. So I don't know what's going on with her. I thought it was something physical myself. Like I thought maybe it was like a pregnancy thing. I don't know. But according to WMMA rankings, I guess it was a depression thing. So I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, Cole. I don't know. Kind of lost the game, man. I mean, she used to be a really good grappler and a wrestler, but she started boxing a lot, and that kind of put her style off a little. But yeah, I gotta go, y'all. Been fun. Appreciate that. You got 23 people in here still. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I just wanted to jump on for a bit on the go and just talk about these fighters on the screen. But yeah, I want to see all of them, step it up this year, get their title shot. I want to see Suarez come back. I want to see her come back. Yeah, in February. It's going down. Hopefully, y'all. So yeah, hit that like button, and I'll catch y'all Friday. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow we'll talk if anything else goes down. But yeah, I got to look into this Tracy Cortez situation a little bit more, Six, and then I'll get back to you and give you my thoughts for real. If I can understand what's going on here, and if everything is put out the right way, like I said, I don't want to just put out false talk or whatever, but I'll look at it, man. Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe, peace.